coming in, help yourselves to some food, and grab a seat as when you can. So today we're going to talk a little bit about how to talk to your professors about research positions, what research looks like here at the U of S, and how to get involved in that as an undergraduate student. It's good timing. There's NSERC USRA grants coming up in the next month or so that'll be due sort of end of January kind of time periods and things like that. So if you're thinking about grants and things like that, it's a good time to start finding a professor, finding a supervisor, talking to folks about those kinds of things. I do want to start today with our land acknowledgement. We're on Treaty 6 territory, homeland of the Métis. In these workshops, I often talk about Indigenous research methods and how being a researcher here in Saskatchewan on Treaty 6 territory in the homeland of Métis, we have a really great opportunity to engage with our Indigenous communities, and always wanting to do that in a respectful way as researchers. But not just to uplift the research in that way, but also to engage with Indigenous research methods and finding ways to bring those into the research we do. There's a workshop coming up called Coming to Know Indigenous Research in the university. That's next Monday at Gordon Oaks, and I highly recommend. They're bringing in some amazing speakers, including Maggie Kovach, who literally wrote the book on Indigenous methodologies, and used to be a faculty member here at the U of S. I believe she's at UBC now, I think, but promises to be a very, very, very good talk. So highly encourage any of you interested to go see that on Monday. When we talk about research at the U of S, we often use the term RSAW. For those of you that don't know what RSAW stands for, Research, Scholarly, and Artistic Works. So not everybody finds that the word research necessarily encompasses what they do here at the university. We're often very locked into Western scientific research methods when we think about research, as per the picture here. But research is really any knowledge creation, whether that's new knowledge or using existing knowledge in new creative ways to generate new concepts, methodologies, and understandings. So when we think about RSAW at USask, it's a really broad sort of term in terms of just creating new knowledge from different ways. At USask, we also have our signature areas of research you may be familiar with. So these are areas of research in which the University of Saskatchewan excels in, where we have absolutely outstanding faculty members, world-renowned research happening out of this institution in these areas. These are not necessarily disciplines. These are research areas that can be multidisciplinary. Okay, so for example, communities and sustainability. We've got folks from the sciences, from the humanities, from the social sciences, from the arts, all contributing to that particular area of research, that signature area of research. Water, we have scientists, we also have policymakers, and all sorts of other folks contributing to those areas of research. So just good to know some of these signature areas of research for the University of Saskatchewan, and start thinking about how your discipline and the programs that you're in might be contributing to these. It might be good areas to sort of start researching in terms of the research that's done here at the U of S, and how you might be able to get into cross-disciplinary research, not just research that's in your specific discipline through these areas of research. So the big question we always get at the undergraduate research initiative, which is sort of our office, is how does an undergraduate student find a pathway to research? And unfortunately, there is no one answer to that. There's a million different ways that undergraduate students get involved in research here at the University of Saskatchewan. Lots of different pathways, lots of different goals. And I think that's the big sort of key takeaway for this piece is you need to start thinking about what your goal is with research. Do you want to get involved in research so that you can end up a graduate student and get a master's degree and move on to a doctoral degree and end up teaching here? Is it an academic path you're going for? Is that what you're looking for? Or are you trying to get into research because you think you've got the next latest and greatest idea and well, you want to be an entrepreneur and you want to go out, you want to sell that idea and you need that research in order to create the thing that you're going to sell, that's going to make you rich, that's going to make you the next billionaire. So these are things you need to sort of be thinking about in terms of your research pathway. And as you start to think about your research pathway, what are some of the ways, what are some of the programs, what are some of the opportunities that are at USAS that are going to get you to that end goal? But it sort of starts with thinking about that end goal. What is it? Why is it you want to get involved in research in the first place? We do have coming up on November 5th, and I'm just going to keep plugging stuff throughout this whole presentation because we've got a whole bunch of workshops coming up, lots around the NSRA, NSERC USRAs, and other things. But on November 5th, we have a student panel. These are going to be undergraduate research folks who are at the university, who have won USRA awards, who have held research assistant positions over the summer, who have presented at the SURE Symposium, who have done things in undergraduate research. And they all took completely different pathways to get there. They did different things. They approached faculty in different ways. They started from different places. So this is going to be a panel discussion, and this is going to be your opportunity to ask those folks, what's your best tip? How did you get started? How many faculty did you approach when you were looking for your supervisor? All these kind of questions, and they're going to be able to answer some of those for you. These folks are not completed. We specifically chose folks for this panel who are second or third year, who maybe have only a couple of experiences, but they're on a pathway as well, and they're on a journey, and you can ask them about where they hope to get to on their journey, where their sort of pathway is taking them as well. So again, highly recommend you attend that one. That'll be a hybrid event as well, so available online or in person in the Murray Library there. Feel free to stop me through any of this and ask questions. I'm happy to just have the conversation as we go. Yeah. Yes, I can.
We'll definitely follow.
We'll send out these slides. Yeah. We'll send out these slides to everybody who signed up as well. So you'll have this whole slide deck in your email after this, but yeah, absolutely. So the other thing a lot of undergraduates are thinking when they're thinking about research is, should I be doing this now? Is this a good time to actually start this? Or should I just leave it alone, get my undergraduate degree, then go do my master's and start thinking about research at that point? Or start thinking about research, my second or third year when I can apply for an honors program within my college. And this is kind of what we tend to hear from students who have engaged in research. It can help you understand the university. So here at the University of Saskatchewan, we are a U15 university, which means we are a research intensive university. One of the big goals of this institution is to create new knowledge and have discoveries. So we are a research intensive university. There are 15 of those across Canada, and we're kind of inching our way up as we go. And but we have, like I say, in our signature areas of research, we are world leaders in a lot of things: synchrotron, toxicology, those types of things. Really world leaders in the research we do. So getting involved in research at this point can really help you understand how the university kind of works, where research happens, how those interconnected pieces sort of fit together, those kinds of things. The other thing a lot of undergraduates who have engaged in this stuff tell us is that the research skills are applicable and beneficial in any career. So folks who have gone on, completed their degrees and gone on, they've said, look, the skills that I developed as a researcher, being able to pose a question, investigate that question, wrap up those findings and present them in some way. These are all skills that I need now in my job. These are transferable career skills. So regardless of whether you want to go on to a graduate degree or become an entrepreneur or just get your undergraduate and get a job and just that's it. That's as far as you're planning on going, and that's fine too. The research skills that you develop by engaging in the research that this university has to offer will help you develop some really career-ready kind of skills. We do a lot of work with career services. We do presentations and collaborate with them on workshops. And the reason is because a lot of the skills overlap, right? Lots of overlap in those career-ready skills and research skills. Research skills are different than memorizing information. If you can get involved in research here at the university, it's a really great way to have active, engaged participation in your learning. So one of the other folks that we engage a lot with is around experiential learning. Because again, research is a type of experiential learning, right? You're getting out there, you're actually in the field, you're in the lab, you're doing the research, you're investigating these things, you're answering those questions. So it's different than just memorizing stuff. It can help you decide if you like research. Maybe you're in your undergrad now and you're thinking, I don't know if I want to do a master's degree after this. I haven't decided yet. I don't know if it's going to be for me. I don't know if that's something I want to do. Getting involved in research now really tells you what research is like. And I'll tell you, you have to, in a lot of cases, you have to love research in order to do research for the rest of your life. Like you really have to love the process of research, analyzing data, working through all of that. And if you don't love it, you might as well know now. And that's fine if you don't love it. Lots of people don't love it. And they go, no, thank you. That's not the kind of research I want to do. Or they start to do more practitioner-based research, where that research is applied research, action research, where they're doing it as they're doing the job. There's lots of different ways, but it can help you to sort of decide how research fits sort of your style and your lifestyle. The other thing is just meeting students and professors on campus. So if you are going to move on with this and continue to research, it's just great to get your foot in the door early. Faculty they'll take the easy path, like all of us. So once I know a student who I worked with and they were awesome, guess who I'm calling next time? You got it. I'm calling you again because it was easy and it worked and I liked it. So getting in early, getting faculty and other students to know who you are, getting your name out there and just starting to build that research profile for yourself early, never a bad thing for sure. So where do I find research positions at the University of Saskatchewan? Again, this can be a little bit difficult. I'll tell you first straight off, most undergraduate research positions are not posted. They are word of mouth. A researcher has a position open, and again, they're going to talk to people they've already talked to. They're going to talk to people they know. If that person can't do it, they'll ask for a recommendation from that person. That's 90% of the undergraduate positions, I would say. It's a lot of them. CareerLink is one place where if they are posted, that's probably where you'll find them. So CareerLink is not just research positions, but all undergraduate student positions. So if there's any jobs on campus that you can apply for, that's where you're going to find them if they're being posted. USAS Careers, less focused on students, not directly targeted towards students, but staff and faculty links there. So you may find some stuff there. The thing to keep an eye on is department and college announcements. So if your department or your college has an internal USRA is Undergraduate Student Research Awards. If they have an internal fund that you can apply for, and get paired up with a faculty member through an internal thing, it'll come through their department and college announcements. So if they have a listserv or a newsletter that they send out, just make sure you're checking that. I know Arts and Science has a big student newsletter that gets sent out. And that's where some of those things are. But like I say, the number one way to find a research position is through networking. And just knowing, finding those opportunities. So the funding opportunities like the NSERC USRAs, the Tri-Agency USRAs, those types of undergraduate research awards where you get paid to do a summer internship or a summer assistantship in a lab or out in the field or those types of things. Those funding opportunities will get posted. So again, we'll be posting the application process for the NSERC USRAs here, probably mid-November. Once we have all the information from the Canadian government, those will get posted. And you'll be able to find out what the process is. You'll be able to find out how you apply. You'll be able to find out what the deadlines are, all that kind of stuff. But if you don't have a faculty member to work with, and if you don't have a project to work on, there's nothing to apply for, right? So it's up to the students to find a faculty member to apply with. So you need to find somebody who you want to work on their research. You need to find a faculty member whose research excites you and makes you go, yeah, that's cool. That's what I want to do. That's the experience I want to have. And you need to get to them and find a way to connect with them. So how do we do that? That's the hard part, right? First off, I'd say do your homework. Find that faculty member. So you can go to your college web pages and search for the faculty members. You are all in classes. Maybe you already have a faculty member that you're thinking about, who you know about their research, and you're going, she is amazing. She's got some cool stuff going on. I have got to check them out. And see if they're hiring at all this summer, see what positions they might have available. So networking, attending events, asking for recommendations from other students or professors, be strategic, be targeted, use your research skills to find them. Read their publications, grants, that kind of thing. Most faculty who run a lab have a website about that lab or a web page. And they'll be listed on their professor profile kind of thing, right? So when you click on them, there'll be links to their lab websites, to their research, certainly. Read a couple of their papers they've published. I mean, they're faculty researchers, so they're out there. I mean, Google their name. Outside of it, go to the library journals and run their name through the library search to find their research. Find someone who you're excited about. Find someone whose research interests you. And you can talk to other faculty members about them as well, and just say, hey, do you know if Professor Jacobs is hiring at all this summer, or what their latest research is? I see they haven't published in a couple of years. Are they still doing the same stuff on biomechanics, or are they doing something new now? So really do that homework. That's a really good start. What are some other ways we might be able to research professors? Shout it out, anybody. Online as well. LinkedIn, great one, really good. LinkedIn's a great place to brag about your research, so they're doing that. Anybody else? Sorry? Visit them at the office, yes? Yeah.
Just email them and ask.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so the first thing is we want to find them, right? Figure out who it is we want to actually connect with, right? And so there's lots of different ways to sort of go about that. Two good things coming up as well, another plug. We have the student panel that I mentioned. Again, they're going to help you you can ask them, how did you find the person that you wanted to research with? How did you find your supervisor? The other one is a speed networking and faculty for faculty and undergraduate researchers. That's on November 19th. We're going to have, I think we've got 10 so far, but the numbers are climbing. Faculty members who are going to be giving little lightning talks, a little 30-second spiel about what their research is. Think of it like a speed dating thing, but less romantic. And we'll have groups of 3 to 5 students sitting with that faculty member. They're going to give a pitch about what their research is about, what kind of positions they might have open this summer, what kind of folks they're looking for in their lab. And you're going to have an opportunity to ask them questions, to sort of present yourself. If you have a CV, bring it, hand it to them. If you want to work with them, that's a great time to do that. Bell's going to ring, you're going to move on to the next one and go around. Not everybody is going to be in the discipline that you're necessarily interested in, but what this does is it gives you an opportunity to understand what kind of research is happening on campus, different interdisciplinary types of research happening, and just connect with a whole bunch of different researchers. Again, it's all about networking. Once that's done, we'll have some time at the end of that for everybody just to mill around. We'll have some good food. And you can talk to other undergraduates who are also interested in research, folks who have done research before as an undergraduate. And again, just a really good opportunity to network. And again, if somebody's already working in a lab and they hear about a position, you want to be able to talk to them and just say, hey, so there's a position there, like who do I contact? That's how you're going to find most of this stuff. Any questions about that? So then comes the introduction, the email, absolutely. So the email is usually the first point of contact. Faculty members don't necessarily like you just popping into their office and asking for a job. Some tact to be had for sure. So and emails are just a really good way to get started, but it's got to be, the email has to be created in a really good way. So we're not using granny.hotmail when we're emailing them. We're using our USAT email address to do this. We're professionals, right? Trying to get this position. Be clear and targeted with what you want. What is it are you looking for? Are you looking for work? Are you looking for a volunteer position? Are you looking to just have a conversation about their research? Be clear about what it is you want. Faculty members are on 1,000 committees, plus they teach, plus they're trying to get their research done. They have very little extra time. So we want to make sure that when we're contacting them, we're giving them an opportunity to sort of set the ground rules for that. Mass emails, not really encouraged. You want this to be targeted. You want them to know you've been looking at their research. They love that. They love to know that students are keen and eager about what they're doing. They want to see that, right? So if you've done your homework, you can go to that instructor and say, yeah, I'm really interested. I saw this paper and I'm seeing the research you're doing here, and that's something I'm really interested in being involved in. Is there any opportunities for me to get involved in your research in that way? That kind of thing. The writing centers out there in the library to help you craft these things, if that's what you want. They can certainly help you do that. We also have, this is pretty much the same information. Introduce yourself. Why are you writing the email? Why do you want to work with them? These kinds of things. We do have an advanced strategies for CVs and applications on November 6th. You'll notice that is a couple of weeks before the networking event so that you can have your CV ready for the networking event, okay? So these are all lined up in such a way that you could just go bang, bang, bang and get all of this happening by the time the NSERC USRAs are due, and you'll need to have a supervisor in place by then. So this one is set up basically to help you to build that CV. Even if you don't have a whole bunch of research experience already, if you have zero research experience already, but you still want to get in this and start working towards this, one of the other things we'll help you craft in this workshop is writing about your competencies in such a way that it reflects those research skills, okay? So it's taking the competencies that you do have, taking the experiences you do have, the courses you've already taken, any job experience that you've already got, those kinds of things. And being able to write that in such a way that is going to make it reflect those skills that cross over with research. And it's going to make you sound like you're right on the cusp of being that researcher and ready to do it. So that's one of the other things. So it's going to be talking about those competencies, how to write those competencies, and then also how to get that CV built, and kind of specifically for writing these kind of applications, applications like the NSERC USRAs or other USRAs. Yeah.
Someone online asked, what do you do if the professor does not reply your email?
Yeah, we'll get to that. Good question. Knowing your goals and timelines. Again, this is kind of reiterating a bit of what we've already talked about, but what are you asking for? Be direct. Are you looking for an internship? If you're going into an honors program, are you looking for an honors supervisor? Are you looking for a part-time assistantship? Are you happy with a volunteer opportunity just to volunteer in their lab? And then know your timelines. When can you actually start? Because there's no point in talking to them and saying, oh yeah, well, I can't start till next year though. I mean, so definitely have those timelines in your mind already. Know your strengths. Again, this is what we were talking about in terms of being able to write about your competencies, write about those skills you do have, write about what you've learned in some of the courses that you've already taken that would help you in this position, those types of things. If you've taken a fire course is a first-year research experience course. These are courses that have research activities built right into them. So they count. You can present your research that you did in a fire course at the SURE symposium, at the USSU symposium, at these different poster symposiums. You can present that research. You can get that research published in, added to the Harvest research archive in the library. And these all count. These are things go on your resume. These are things that how you build your research profile as you go, okay? So fire courses, you can look for those in Banner for undergraduate research courses. We have them all listed on our website. So some of these QR codes will take you to our website. Look for the fire courses on our website. They'll list all the fire courses. If you enroll in a fire course, it has a research component built into it. And what that'll ask you to do is it'll ask you to come up with a research question, investigate that research question, and share your findings of that research question. And in that process, you have now done research at the U of S, okay, in a mentored way. There are research coaches in those courses who help you along the way and help you find the resources you need, help you build the skills you need to do that research. If you're doing a literature review, they'll help you figure out how to do that. Okay, so they have these research components built into these courses, and we're looking to do more and more of these. The SURE program, again, if you don't know, is Student Undergraduate Research Experience. This is a co-curricular record program of skill development training. We have most of that programming. This is part of SURE. We have most of that programming happening in the summer while people are doing their research activities with faculty members, people who have won USRAs or are in assistantships or co-op programs or internships through the summer. And we run a series of workshops around research skills. We work with the library, with career services, like I said, to put together these workshops and things. If you do 10 hours of those workshops, you get a co-curricular record on your it's an official badge. I don't know. It's a co-curricular record. But essentially, again, something you can put on your resume. I have a undergraduate research co-curricular record that says I did this amount of training in research. So I have these research skills. And when you go to talk to a faculty member about about them becoming your supervisor, they love that. They want to see that. You've already put in the work. You don't have to have done anything to sign up for those. Those are all just, you can do that today with no research experience whatsoever, with no background in it at all. And it's a great way to start. The SURE program also has that's where these networking events are happening. So if you sign up for SURE, you'll start getting all of those emails, basically. Those are all going to start flooding your inbox. And you're gonna be like, oh, there's this opportunity. Oh, there's this networking thing. Oh, this professor is looking for someone. Okay, great. So all of that stuff just starts coming into your inbox and your USask inbox. So those are great examples. And that's what you want to talk about in those emails that you're sending. You want to say, yeah, I was in the SURE program this summer. I did a fire course. And now I'm really looking to like get a USRA and do a full summer internship with you. And that would be really cool. Obviously this is, you don't need to see this slide. Be honest, don't exaggerate your abilities. Be specific about your interests, all those kind of things. Why do you want to do this research? You know, be honest with yourself. Why is it? Why are you interested in this? You want to save the world? You want to get rich? You just want a path to grad studies? I mean, all of those are totally reasonable answers to that question. But be honest with yourself as you're writing, because that's what they're going to want to see. Be persistent. The question, what if they don't reply to your email? Be persistent, but don't be a pain. It's fine if you send an email 2 days later, you haven't heard back, send a quick prompt. That's fine. Absolutely. 2 days, that's plenty amount of time. If they haven't seen it, or if they saw it and flagged it and set it aside and forgot about it, again, they're busy. They got all sorts of stuff going on. So be persistent for sure. And if they say no, if they just come straight back and go, nope, not taking anybody right now, go, super awesome. Thanks very much for your time. Do you know of anybody else who might be taking someone? Because they do. They know other people. They're connected, right? And they're connected in the department that you're in. So ask them if they know of anybody else. And again, that shows that persistence. That shows that perseverance. Know when to say yes. Finding the right supervisor for you is key. If you end up getting this supervisor in your undergraduate, there's a good chance that they could continue on to be your supervisor in a master's degree or in a doctoral degree or throughout your time, or be a mentor for you as you sort of build your career and those kinds of things and connect you. So yeah, so you want them to be the right person, you know, for you. So know when to say yes, but you can negotiate, you can decline. You don't have to say yes. If you don't feel right about it, something's a little, I don't know, this isn't quite right. It's not quite the right one for me. That's fine. You don't have to say yes to these, you know. But yeah, the supervisor-student relationship, as it says, needs to be built on trust and mutual respect. So, you know, if you find someone and their values aren't maybe aligned to yours exactly, that's fine. You can move on and look for someone else, and that's totally reasonable. Any questions about that? Comments? Okay. Let's try this. This is Brad. Hi, Brad. This is Brad's email. What do we think of Brad's email? Shaking head, no.
No.
What don't you like about Brad's email?
Too short. I know nothing about Brad and what they want.
Okay, good. Yeah,
Reply instead of their professor or something.
good. He is emailing from Wheelie King 77. Yeah, that is not gonna cut it.
The subject is just research.
Yep. Yep, I might just delete it. I might not even open it, right? Yeah,
Nothing, they're not asking anything specific.
yeah,
They're not mentioning any of their interests.
you bet. Yeah, don't even know who this guy is.
It doesn't really have an email signature.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. All excellent comments. Brad is less likely to get this to work. How about Natanis? Natanis does a little better, I think. Sorry.
She didn't mention the name of the professor.
Right. Yeah, she could have written this and sent it to 20 people. We'd never know, would we? Yeah. Anybody else? Yeah,
Maybe like a something to say, hey, I know what you do, or I'm interested in that.
yeah, yeah. No mention that she has any clue who this professor is. Again, it could have been a mass email that she just changed a couple of little things in, right? Yeah, for sure. Not personalized. Anybody else?
She says, let me know if you need anything else, but the professor might not even need her in the first place.
Right, it's a little presumptuous, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah, that was one, I thought this one was a little presumptuous. You know, I'm applying for an NSERC USRA funding. Well, you're not if you don't have a supervisor. Yeah. Okay, good. What about Malik? How did Malik do?
Can you zoom in a bit? Like,
I mean, you're asking a lot. You're asking a lot. This is a typo? Oh. It might be. It's good? Yeah. Not bad, right? Pretty good. Talks about his professor specifically, knows what he does, knows what he wants, right? Knows what he's looking for, has a resume. Yeah, not bad. Pretty good. Okay, so this is the kind of thing, and we're not looking for a novel. Again, they don't have time to read, you know, don't put your resume in here, you know what I mean? Like, they don't want to read all that, yeah.
How would I know what kind of research a professor does? If, let's say if they're not in my faculty or.
Yeah. So again, you can just start to look through the different college directories to find all those different folks and just start searching up who they are and what kind of stuff. Most of them will have some sort of a research profile from that page that you can click on. And it usually, they love to talk about it. They love talking about their research. They're faculty. It's why they're here. So they love to talk about it. So there's a really good chance they have a little write-up about what their research is and probably a whole list of publications, starting from the most recent one. So you can sort of see what they're into now. I've researched with, my background is in education. So I've researched with a few folks from the College of Curriculum Studies. What they research now is completely different than what they researched 5 years ago. So if it's not super recent, they may not be doing that anymore. They may be on to something else, but you can always reach out and ask. Yeah. Any other questions? Yeah.
there is one online, what would be a good example of a resume to send? Yeah.
Yeah, come to that resume workshop. But again, it's really gonna be about trying to, well, like with any application, any resume for any job, right? You want to match your skills with what they're asking for, right? So you got to find out what it is you're asking for, right? Are they looking for a research assistant? Are they looking for a lab technician? Are they looking for someone to like literally just scrub scales off of fish all summer? Like, you know what I mean? There's lots of different ways you can get involved in their research. Some of them are doing research and some of them are scraping scales off of fish. And you're part of the research, but it's a good way to get your foot in the door, you know? And it's a fun way to spend your summer just out in the field doing stuff, you know? So yeah, I would say a good resume is one that writes your skills and talks about your skills in a way that matches what the job is and what they're actually asking for. And that's a bit of a skill in its own right. Being able to take one set of skills and talk about them in lots of different ways, talk about them in regards to this kind of a job or that kind of a job or that kind of a position, that kind of thing. This is just a template that you can use to start an email if you're sort of looking for something just to get started. Obviously you can just change it up however you need, but just those little reminders. Why am I doing this? What am I asking for? You know, those kinds of things. So that's just a little template you can use if you want moving forward. Oops. What's next? I've emailed my professor. Now what? Well, they email you back and say, no, thank you. Not taking any new students. Okay, well, that's that. Keep me in mind for next time, right? Ask them again, if any denial, Ask them, do you know someone else? They know other people. That's super important. Don't let it just cut off right there, right? Ask if they know someone else. Ask if there's other students that you could talk to. Would you put me in contact with the undergraduate students you do work with, or with the graduate students you work with, just so I can get a sense of what it's like working with you, in this lab or this kind of thing. And a lot of the time they'll get you in contact with them, and students are, the students who are doing this kind of research, you all are the kind of people who would be keen to, like, yeah, I can help mentor you a little bit. I can tell you what I know, I can share what my experiences. So often just you might just be able to get to talk to another student about it. And look for other professors. So you start looking for other professors. No reply in 2 days. Again, I'd send a quick, polite follow-up. Hey, sent you an email about this. I know it's a busy time of year for you, but super keen on working with you, super keen on trying to build my research portfolio, and would love to work with you. So let me know if you have any openings, or if you know of anyone else. They're interested in a meeting. Great, awesome. Now you prepare for a meeting. Again, make sure you know something about their research so you can talk about it in that meeting. Talk about your own skills and how you think your skills might be transferable to what they need. Those kind of things. I mean, basic job interview stuff, right? And again, career services has lots of those kind of like job interview skills, workshops and things. That's all transferable skills. So if you take one of those workshops from career services or something, it'll help. Like, it really will. It'll help in these kinds of conversations. You'll meet, you'll be honest, you'll be confident, you'll be direct, you'll ask for what you want. And they won't offer you the position, or they will, or it'll depend on getting the award. And that's the other thing. The USRAs, the Tri-Agency USRAs, are a matching grant. Okay, and so you apply with a faculty member, you both apply together. They write a piece, you write a piece, they go together in the application and they go in together. If you get the award, the government pays you money, and they pay you half of a summer wage, and the other half of the summer wage has to come from that faculty member's research money. Okay, so it's a matching grant. So half of it comes from them, half of it comes from the government, and you get paid a full salary for the summer. And that's how those work. So if the government says no, a lot of the time the faculty member can't cover your salary on their own for the summer. And so then the answer is no. But sometimes they'll be able to offer you a part-time thing or something else, or a volunteer position, just a couple hours a week, so you can get your foot in the door and get some more experience on your resume or that kind of thing. Again, networking. Or they offer you the position and you've got a really sweet summer gig, doing something awesome in the field or in a lab, or what you want to do. Any questions about all that? That's kind of the spiel. That's kind of how I think a person ought to go about it, as they go about it. Again, it's, there's no one pathway, right? It's about just getting out there and putting yourself out there and finding some people and that kind of thing. There is some upcoming funding, like I said, the NSERC USRAs are the big one. So there's a whole bunch of those available. We don't know how many yet for this year. They change it every year. It's different allocations every year. So we'll find out probably mid-November exactly what we got this year for those allocations, and then we'll be posting that on the website. And again, some of these will get you there. Patrick, not now.
Jordan?
Yeah.
Kareem has, hand up there, so not sure if.
Kareem, have you got your microphone on?
Yeah, I'm walking and I'm listening to you, so it's really good. I have a question. Is there passes change for everyone, like people who are studying in USOC and people who have international qualifications?
You're not coming through so well, Kareem. Could you type your question into the chat for us? Your microphone's just a little fuzzy.
Let me try.
Thank you.
Is the passes same for both students studying in USAS and people with international qualification?
Yeah, sorry, we're having a hard time understanding you in the room. I think it's just the microphone and the speaker combination. If you can write your question into the chat, that would be awesome. And I'll try and get to it, or you can just email me at the end and I can email you back. My email will be at the end of this slide.
Marcella in the chat has a question.
Yeah.
Can this work for professional programs like dentistry, even if I'm still an undergrad?
I'm not sure. Yeah, I mean, dentistry has, I believe dentistry has internal USRAs. They certainly have they have a honors program as well. So again, any of those, you're gonna need a supervisor. You're gonna need to have, gonna need to be paired up with a faculty member for that kind of stuff, right? So that's kind of the first step with all of this, is finding a faculty member that wants to sort of take you on as someone to work with, right? They're the ones who are doing research here, so you need to get in contact with them somehow. Yeah.
I have a question. Last summer, I struggled with, I found a few supervisors, but I struggled with the grants.
Yeah.
Very few of them offer something for foreigners. I wonder.
Yes.
Yeah. I wonder if there's a second option.
And that's also Kareem's question.
Okay. So yeah, international students do struggle to find funding more than folks who are Canadian or hold permanent residency, I think. And the reason is because the Canadian grants, like the NSERC USRAs, you're not eligible for. So those are you're only eligible for those if you are a Canadian citizen or permanent resident of Canada. Email me and I'll see what I can find. I know I'm a little bit new to this position. I only started this job in April. So I know there's a whole bunch of stuff that is kind of outdated in terms of other funding opportunities on a page that isn't forward facing, but it's there. And I can have a look at it and see if we can pull some stuff out and see what we can find. But yeah, I know there's not a lot. So some of those internal funding, if your college or department has internal funding, you'd be eligible for that, most likely. Funding that comes from the USASC essentially is what you're probably gonna want to try and focus on. Kareem's question.
That was the same question.
It was the same question. Oh, sorry.
It says Kareem.
Okay, yeah, good. So NSERC USRAs are coming up. SHRC USRA and CIHR USRA, we get very few of here at the University of Saskatchewan, sometimes one a year, sometimes two, sometimes they have stipulations on them, like they're for a particular group of students, like Black students or Indigenous students, they have some for, but not everybody. So again, the information for those will probably be coming out about the same time this year, in terms of how many of those there are, what those opportunities are, that kind of thing. Kelvin, you got a question there?
Yeah, I have a question. Thank you for this session so far. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can.
Okay, I have two questions. First, I would like to know if the slides will be sent to persons who joined online. And
You bet.
secondly, okay, I'm an international student. My area of expertise is towards sustainable agriculture or food security. So I want to know if the opportunities or programs that are available for such an international student like me. So I really appreciate the guide, and I also want to connect. I'll try to get your email at the end of the session so I could connect.
Sure.
On that.
Yeah, do that. I don't know of any specifically. Again, our office doesn't necessarily get all the information from all the colleges, from all the departments. I wish that was the case. I wish I had a database of opportunities that everybody just fed to me and you could all come to that one place and find them. They do not. this is the university. We are siloed. We are we are disconnected in many, 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 many ways. So I would say the best way for you to engage with that would be to talk to student advisors in your own college or department and ask if they know of any opportunities like that and start there because they'd probably be best to tell you what's available in your college. And if you're an international student, that's probably the best place to start. So again, upcoming networking opportunities, I mentioned, are there. Student panel, speed networking, I mentioned both of those. This one is over at Opus Collider. If you don't know Opus, they are a group on campus that takes research and helps people get it into Kickstarters and get it like started and get it into a business world and get paid and do stuff, entrepreneurship stuff. They're awesome. We have an undergraduate student who connected with them a couple of years ago and now has their business up and running with their supervisor. They're doing some super cool stuff. They're going to come and talk and just talk about their journey of how they got there, exactly how that worked out and how they took their idea, how they found a supervisor, how they started doing that research, and how now they have a business up and running through Opus. Also, if you've never been to Opus Collider Hub in the Galleria, which is over in Innovation Place here, it is the coolest space. You have to come see it. They have like hammocks and beanbag chairs and cool it's just such a cool space. It's just really neat. And yeah, and then they've got research pods and hubs and places to connect with entrepreneurs and that kind of thing. So they are a really great group to get in networking with as well. Funding workshop support. So this is what a lot of people are going to want to sort of be working towards here over the next couple of months. And so we have some specific workshops for that. So again, that advanced strategies for CVs and applications I talked about. And then undergraduate students' introduction to the Tri-Agency USRAs, just how they work, how you apply for them, what your role is, what the faculty role is, those kind of things. And then application process, exactly what the process is, both their roles and your roles, how to sort of go about that. And that link should take you to our full list of workshops. From there you can see this is up till the end of November. Into December and into January, we have some drop-in sessions for the Tri-Agency Awards too. So if you're writing an application for this and you're struggling with it, there will be opportunities for you to drop in and talk to somebody who administers these all day, every day throughout the year, and they can help you to write a better grant. And that's part of what our office does as well, is just supporting you writing these and being successful, because the more success we have with these at the university, the better the university looks as a U15 institution, because we're bringing in more research dollars, and that's what we want to see. So, so we want you to succeed. We want you to get these. We want you to do well at this. So anything we can do to support that, not anything, but we want to do that. That's going to take you to the general URSA. And on that page, you're going to find the FIRE courses. Like I said, a link to the FIRE courses, a link to the SURE program that you can sign up for and get all of that stuff. That's going to get you to the USRAs, all of that. So that's sort of the main piece. We've got about 5 minutes for questions, if there are any. Yeah.
So you mentioned like honors program. How does that relate to research? Like, is it preferred or?
So typically in an honors program, there is a research project that you will do as part of your honors program. So you, as a undergraduate, in your undergraduate program, will get a supervisor, and it's basically a mini thesis, like in a master's program. And so you will come up with a thesis, you will investigate that thesis, you will do a research project in a supervised way with a faculty member typically. And but it's part of an undergraduate program as opposed to a graduate program. That's typically the way they work. Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you.
If you start summer research, can that then contribute to honors and your book year, or those things have to be separate?
Good question. It probably depends on the honors program. I don't know specifically, but you could definitely talk to our student advisor about that and they'd be able to tell you. Okay,
Going off of, progression, so let's say you've already done a research summer.
Yeah.
Can you then get recognition for, what did you say, required? Or the, so,
yes, the SURE, so the SURE co-curricular record, it's 10 hours. Your USRA project doesn't count towards that, but all the workshops that you would take, sort of around that would count towards that. So the SURE program is a bunch of different workshops and different opportunities like that, that help you in your summer position to build the skills you need to do the thing you're doing in the summer. If that makes sense, okay? So as you take those workshops, you build that up. That's a full year too. So I mean, if you don't get your 10 hours in the summer because you were busy researching, thank you very much. I was in the field. I didn't have access to all of this. You can continue to take these workshops like this one right now. If you just, it's basically you keep track of them, which ones you were in. And when you have 10 hours, each one counts as an hour. And when you have 10 hours, you just email us and say, hey, I finished my 10 hours. I'd like my co-curricular record, please. And then we'll submit that for you. And that'll, it doesn't show up on your transcript anymore. It used to show up on your transcript that you have this co-curricular record. Now it's a separate thing, but it's something you can put on your resume or on your LinkedIn or whatever else.
I could just tally this one as one.
You can count this one today, folks. Absolutely. You started. Well done. Yeah. Okay, my email is there. That's me, Jordan Knapp. I'm the coordinator of the undergraduate, RSA coordinator. Undergraduate.research is just kind of our general information. If you're just looking for links or more information, if you want to talk specifically, feel free to contact me. We'll send this presentation out so you have all these slides and links and everything. And I hope to see you at some of the other presentations as we head into the funding season. Thanks, folks.